Peace. Did you know that in the history of America, there were over 250 slave revolts in America's history? When I first charted out into African studies, self-imposed African studies, it was an elective on my part, which it should have been a primary. And if, of course, we had schools like that envisioned by Dr. Umar Johnson, we would indeed have such curriculum taught in said schools. But we don't. That's another topic for another day. But when I began studying and reading for myself my people's desire for freedom, because if you don't do that, you'll have the opinion like that of a mental inferior like Kanye West.
You hear about slavery for 400 years. For 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all?
Who believed that slavery was a choice, right? Because the logic is at a lower frequency of a level that, well, if you stayed that long, that had to be a choice. And nobody does something in mass 250 times if their choice is to do the contrary thing. The Fugitive Slave Act is another thing that will refute that. Drapetomania, which was a pseudoscience at that particular time, refutes that. But that's beside the point. And again, we are all slaves to our own intellectual limitations. And it's unfortunate to see someone like Kanye West, even though I'm going all the way back in the day, quote unquote, to make this reflection. But I just recently saw some song he had praising Nazis, calling himself a nigga Nazi or a Nazi nigga or whatever the case may be, or I'm a Nazi nigga. And you had all these right-wing incel, closeted homosexuals dancing to it in a club.
Not that there's anything wrong with it.
No, of course not. People's personal sexual preferences are nobody's business but their own.
But that's beside the point. The man's an intellectual inferior. He just happens to be a savant when it comes to music and what appeals to the ears, but that doesn't make him any superior in the realms of education or in any topic that he speaks upon. It just makes the beat is what makes the topic that he speaks upon sound more intriguing. But that's all. His mother would lynch him if she saw him in his present form today. He's an abomination, a shadow, a pale, flaccid, soulless image of what he once was. Again, beside the point. When you read our history and you see how hard we fought, like we all heard of stories of Nat Turner, but you didn't necessarily hear what they did to Nat Turner when they caught him. How savage and barbaric and cruel and dehumanizing and wicked and this malevolent the process was for the white mind at that time. And indeed now, they have it in them now. Those who would commit themselves to doing acts like that in the first place have no Ubuntu. As my African brothers say, you have no soul. And you never had it. Yeah, it is a fascinating thing to like sit into and understand. Like if we had 250 slave revolts in this country's history, just one of them, the one with Denmark Vesey, that was good enough to take over an entire state. I believe it was Louisiana. Yeah, it was Louisiana. They would have taken over the entire state of Louisiana, forcing America to do a Louisiana compromise purchase type deal with another country state or nation state that would have came in and wanted to assume the responsibility for dealing with such an unruly lot. But in just like those types of slave revolts are in our history. And you wonder like, well, how did they fail and why did they fail? And to that question, it was the coon. What we call today a coon was their version of an Uncle Tom, a Sambo, a trader, or a house Negro. And you had people in the field with aspirations to be house Negroes. Don't ever think that wasn't the case. And those individuals betrayed every single slave revolt movement. That's not on par. It's not the same thing as snitching. These were people who saw their entire people struggling towards one direction and betrayed not just some gang they were dealing with, not some dude they were dealing with or something like that. No caveating here, just observation, right? This wasn't some insignificant criminal venture against some pocketed group of people. This was a criminal adventure against the entire United States, because it was criminal to revolt against slavery, but it was the most humane thing to do through the clarifying lenses of retrospection. And in every last one of those slave revolts, a black man or child or woman betrayed well, it was very rarely a woman, it was a man, so-called, betrayed every last one of them. Every last one of them. And we speak about how slavery created the ethnicity of blackness as we know it today. When FBA or ADOS or descendants of slaves or African Americans or black people in general here in this country who have a lineage which goes back to the killing fields of the antebellum South and the dehumanizing halls of the North. Those said group of people were intentionally created and scientifically created to be a own subspecies, and in that thrust, that desire to create said subspecies of humanity, stripping us of our language, stripping us of our nativities, stripping us of our spirituality, stripping us of everything that could possibly relate us to being a contributing member to society and civilization elsewhere. In this country, they created blackness by stripping us of all things that gave us relevance outside of this country's stranglehold over us. And by doing that, it doesn't take very long to create ethnicity. And ethnicity just needs enough time to codify its cultural expression, a way of speaking within said cultural expression, norms and everything else unique to that particular group of people. And there you have an ethnicity. And therefore, the African American, or ADOS or FBA, that descended from slavery are their own unique African expression within the larger body of African expression. And we have two groups of people that slavery produced. It produced two unique expressions of blackness in this country, and one of them is the house nigga, and then one of them is the field nigga. Now that terminology is no longer as prevalent today as it was back in the day. Nowadays we say, oh, that dude's real, or he go in, he go hard, and then we like, yo, that nigga fake, that nigga clown, that nigga sellout, that nigga blah, blah. We have different terminologies to identify that same different sect of people or subgroup of people within the larger ethnic expression of blackness that was created in this country via the process of chattel slavery. And what I have noticed in our contemporary times is that the house Negro or the descendants of the house Negro are feeling very comfortable coming out and saddling up and under white supremacy as it is made manifest through the processes of the Trump administration. They have no problem with it. Reflexively, at the internal visceral level, those of us who descended from field Negroes, we're going to instinctively, innately, and inherently rebel against the idea of saddling up alongside white supremacy. In those times that we do, because of our genetic makeup and reflexive firings, we'll feel ashamed and demoralized, and we'll make sure it's front of center so it never happens again. In fact, we may feel as though we got to get even against this motherfucker that inspired that type of inferiority that was baked into our genetic makeup in the first place. So this is my thesis, and in says thesis, I still proffer further that those individuals like Officer Tatum, the Cartier family, Kanye West,
Today I settle all family business, so don't tell me you're innocent.
and so on, that particular group of people, not Candace Owens, she's not FBA, but that particular group of people, they descend from coons. They descend from Sambo's, Uncle Tom's, house Negroes, and traitors and sellouts. That's what they descend from. And we have to deal with them nowadays in our contemporary times, which brings me to the purpose of this video. I've been giving you a very long intro, and I apologize for that, but context is very important to me. But it brings us to the purpose of this video, the coon experience, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Look at the coon.
I'm wall raccoon.
All right, let's get into it. Our first video is going to be that incident that occurred recently in Minneapolis, where the coon, brainless, daft, and dumb, droll-minded African American came out to defend some neo-Nazi white supremacist.
Lawful order to clear the street.
Support the white liberal women.
How does it feel?
Ooh, what the hell is going? Initially, I thought that was Kermit the Frog. I'm not gonna lie. Now, after looking at it again, I can see that's a drone. But I honestly thought somebody had Kermit the Frog on like torture mode.
Nazi scum, go home. 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 Nazi scum.
The Somali daycare fraud. These people are showing billions of your dollars. The Mogadishu third world shithole immigrants. Deport Ilan Omar. Deport Ilan. She is drenched with Somali daycare money. White liberal women, deport them all. Deport the white liberal women. Deport the white liberal women.
So they can fuck each other, because at heart, all white women are liberal. The only reason why the ones ostensibly come out and show that they aren't liberal is because either their uncle, who is really their brother and also their husband, has great control over not just the purse strings in the family, but indeed the course and direction of her very thoughts and ability to speak.
I ain't gonna know.
Shit, motherfucker! You want to show motherfucker you? Hey, you mind your motherfucking business if you know what the fuck that is. You call the police if you don't leave. I don't give a fuck about you in the police hoes. Call the goddamn law. Get the fuck out of my face, man. Shit. Man, come on, y'all. Come on, man. Get the fuck up out of here. Come on. Before I get mad at this motherfucker. Bitch, come on. You won't go. Don't say it. Get out here. Fuck you. My goddamn penis. I ain't the woman. Fuck you.
I want you guys to move over to City Hall. We're trying to be peaceful. There's police officers here.
Make way for the officer! Make way for the officer! He's a fucking loser! Do not
The violent ones, the violent ones.
I thought you guys were the violent
The violent ones.
I thought there was gonna be hundreds of you. There's singles.
It's funny how they talk this violent left shit. Words can be violent as well. Words can be extremely violent. The First Amendment doesn't protect words of provocation or fighting words. Like, what the hell is this? You talk about violent left. The law supports violence. It doesn't necessarily coddle it. You'll still be prosecuted. But the law supports violence against your ability to speak certain things that are generally considered fighting words.
So do something then. You're shaking like a bitch. You ain't gonna do a fucking thing to me.
How's that?
You fucking
like that? You like that? I bet you do.
He did like it. Not gonna lie to you. A motherfucking grown man kiss you in your face and your only response is to look deeply in his eyes. He's on Grindr, bro. He's definitely on Grindr.
I thought you guys like that.
Dude, I don't fucking drag you to the fucking
I just kissed you.
Do it again.
How would you and your friends like me kiss?
He said, do it again. Once is good enough, bro. You kissed me. I know you got it in you. I'm going to punch you in your mouth. This dude literally said, do it again. Do it again. I didn't get tongue.
Do it again. What is it like kissing you? Do it again.
You guys are here to incite violence. Yeah, you're here to incite bullshit because you hate the people in this community.
That's a unique contraption. I wonder what the hell that is. I can see the two phones, but what's... Oh, it's a charger bank. Y'all guys take this social media shit really serious. And to be fair, this is the energy Nazism is supposed to receive in a so-called free and democratic society. Nazism is not supposed to be given a recess or a corner or niche in said society in order to flourish, because it is literally, its iteration is literally antithetical to said society. Whether it be under free speech heading or otherwise, Nazism is antithetical to Americanism. Allegedly. We all know under the covers, though, they're both playing feet with each other and have been playing feet in footsies with each other and hide the salami for like this country's inception, or since this country's inception. And look at the coon up there with him in the army fatigue with holding the red fist can like he's fucking Dustin from Stranger Things or Eddie. My people are an embarrassment. Those types of, he's still my person. He's still my people. I still have to claim him because we live in a racialist and racist society. Period. He's still my people. Like, my very loosely. I don't claim him, but he still falls within my demographic. If he turns around and hits that devil in his mouth and breaks his jaw, all of black people will be blamed for it. And of course, within the black community and those people on the side of progress and humanity, he'll also be exalted for it. But he's not looking for exaltation. One thing that you got to understand about being a descendant from slaves, we descend from slaves. We did not do the shadow work. We didn't leave slavery, and there wasn't mental health clinics waiting on us to unpack what was done to us. To this day, that hasn't happened. To that day, none of us in mass have done the collective shadow work to heal what was done to us. None of us. Which will bleed into another narrative that you'll hear about us. Why do black people always complain? Because we got over 400 years of shit to complain about. But whatever. This type of behavior on the parts of my people, for me, in the 21st century, with all this information, we live in the information age, and yet and still we're surrounded by idiots, troglodytes, mental midgets, and retrogrades. That black man right there is a traitor. He's a traitor. Now, this scene that we're witnessing may seem innocuous. It may seem like a Botham Jean's brother kind of moment.
Please.
Yes.
And you know what, nigga? You acting like a little bitch right now.
But Botham Jean is not FBA. He was not FBA, and none of the members in his family were. That man right there with those glasses on is FBA. He is foundational black African. African. Period. or you can interchange it with American. I instead associate the foundational with America, the black with the color of my skin, and African as where I come from. But I'm not here to be iconoclastic with that terminology, right? FBA can mean whatever it means to you, being as though black people don't have no universal code that we operate under. We just know what we are supposed to do and we act accordingly. So that is what I am supposed to do with that butchered and tortured narrative coming out and surrounding the term FBA or the terminology or acronym FBA. Beside the point, that Negro right there is a fucking coon. Everything in his body said appeal to whiteness, and not just the whiteness that's coming at him that's their problem. Their communities created that creature. That's their problem. They are in the best suited position to deal with the problem that they created. And for that coon to get up there and try to serve as arbiter, to try to infect the situation with humanity, and I say infect because the situation was inhumane to begin with. And you don't deal with inhumane people who only speak in inhumanity with humanity. It changes nothing. It just makes you feel like you're the person with the best morals in the situation. Well, take your moral ass, having ass somewhere else, bro, and stay out of white folk business. You put yourself front and center in their business. They should have pulled that man to pieces. They should have lynched him. That would have been the perfect visualization for us in the 21st century that we could have visually feasted upon, watching white people do what is necessary, because that is what must happen in the end anyway. White people must do what is necessary in this racist country which caters to their whiteness in order to stop the onslaught of fascism and authoritarianism and ultimately the collapse of not just this country, the entire fucking world. It is their people that have brought us to this brink, and therefore it is their people that are supposed to fix it. Stay the fuck out of their way and let them fix it. But no, a lot of us love the status quo. We love the status quo, which has black people at the bottom, because a lot of you don't really have fight in you. A lot of you got begging and pleading and hat in hand in you. Shoe shuffling and toe tapping and shucking and jiving in you. That's what you have in you. But fight, real fight? No. Y'all are going to be those same said people who betrayed the 250 slave revolts in this country. You descend from them. He fucking descends from them. He is black. He is FBA, but he is not my ethnicity. He isn't. We gonna put all bodies in front of massa. We sick boss. That was literally a we sick boss moment. When he stood in front of him and looked back at him. We's okays now, boss? We's good, boss? You all right, boss? I don't care what words he said in that moment. Like, yo, my nigga, you straight? You still said the same thing in a different way. We good, boss? Everything straight, boss? You ain't bleeding back there, is your boss? Did they get mace on you? Fucking coon.
We love you, Jay. Don't worry. The real bus of Nazis coming pretty soon. Wait till they get here. Oh, you motherfucker. Watch out.
You see how they think it's a joke? Now, if this coon joker would have stood out the way and let them white people at him, you would have showed him it's not a joke. Wasn't nothing funny about that. Wasn't nothing funny about it. If them cameras weren't there even, you could have showed them that there wasn't nothing funny about that. We as black people have some cleanup to do in our communities. There's a lot of black people who are just reflexively betrayers. They are reflexively betrayers. That's because they descend from coons and house niggas, sellouts, and traitors. They are reflexively against us. But given a chance to show the world it. I remember the video of the black guy talking about there's nothing wrong with the Confederate flag.
What you doing here today?
As a matter of fact, there's numerous videos like that of black people even being draped in the Confederate flag. These are the coon-minded Negroes who know where their bread is buttered. They have no creativity in them. They have no ingenuity in them. When they speak and they speak intellectually for themselves, they are actually parroting the words of white supremacy, which means when they speak, they are having an out-of-body experience because you're not fucking white. But digress.
I'm not from a town like this. I figured.
Are you here to support Jake White?
Yeah. I'm here to see all these people. I've never seen this before.
I think you're a liar.
I'm from a small town.
Pepper spray me? It better be a... I don't know, why the fuck would you support ICE? Why would you support this kid? That was dumb.
He's an anarchist. A lot of the white people that are there, they don't really have a political philosophy. People like that, they don't have a political philosophy. They just came for the fireworks. He said it himself. And that's the reason why black people are smart to not involve themselves in this, why white people figure it out. That was white people figuring it out right there when they tried to string up Lang. And you got them coons sitting up there loud and proud in the front talking about some no fighting and no hitting and this, that, and the other thing. How about none of your fucking business? How about mind your motherfucking business, bro? And let those people handle their affairs. They're figuring stuff out. They're figuring stuff. That right there, I'm not going to lie to you, is one of the few set of circumstances where I would have greatly appreciated watching that black man get the absolute shit beat out of him right alongside that fucking naht-zee. I would have appreciated that. That would have been a visually stimulating image to go to sleep with at night, every fucking night until the feel was gone. This man's scum, bro. Anybody that would jump in front of scum to protect scum is scum. And he gladly took it. He gladly took it. Get on up here, boy, and put your body in front of this mace and these projectiles like a good nigga, because that's what he is a good nigga. He's laughing. They're laughing like it's funny. They're laughing like the onslaught of fascism and authoritarianism and the agents which want to hasten its arrival. It's funny. Because somewhere that coon right there thinks that at least he'll be able to shine Massa Boss's shoes. At least Massa Boss ain't gonna eat all the food. I can have the scraps. At least Massa Boss ain't gonna whip me. He gonna whip them niggas. Black man would have hated for my presence to be there. And I am not stupid enough. I am not the type of person to partake in stuff like this. I don't have the temperament. I don't have the temperament whatsoever to partake in this. And I have a family to concern myself with. And they don't need to see me being taken to prison for the next 50 years because I took that loudspeaker and shoved it down that coon's throat. Or I snatched him by his pants and dragged him down. You got three out of their mind coons right there. Each one of them, fake ass Hebrew Israelites, sitting up there protecting that literal traitor to humanity. That if he had it his way, every last one of them would be up there, but they would be off their feet, dangling. And everybody down there white will be there waiting for the flesh to sizzle to a touchable crisp. This man's, they disgust me. And whoever lives around these people, whoever knows these people on a day-to-day basis, get them the hell out of your community. They are going to betray you. Mark my words. They are going to betray you. If you have a movement, if there's some type of meetings that y'all are having where revolutionary speak is going to be circulating amongst it, them type of people can't be in there. Fuck type. Those three niggas cannot be in there. They are going to betray you. Mark my words, bro. Mark my words, those types of people need to be stopped at the door or you will regret it. You will regret it. Jesus Christ never existed. Jesus of Nazareth existed. Christ is something you guys made up to make yourself have some type of relevant theological narrative within the pantheon of divinity. Shake your head all you want. You're lucky that there wasn't somebody in there in that crowd that had sense and that was melanated and threw a big old juicy fat rock right in your face and smashed them dumbass glasses off your face. Yeah. Shoved you off. Shoved you off. I'm trying to protect you, boss. No, massa, Calvin. Why'd you push me off, boss? That's right. Shove his coon, massa, slave-minded Negro ass right down there onto the pavement, onto his face. Maybe that will be enough to rattle what's left of his African mind and shake some goddamn common sense into him. Somebody had it right. Punch him in the fucking face. Punch him in the fucking face. I remember there was a t-shirt like that floating around, punch a Nazi in the face. Because that's what the ancestors in this country did to fascism. In World War II, they punched Nazis in the face. Literally, figuratively, and then everything in between. A lot of us descend from them. My father fought in World War II. A lot of us have relatives that fought in World War II. So punching a Nazi in the face is probably the most American thing you can do. I know somebody saw that like I saw that. I'm going to rewind that. I apologize, but he got a fresh skibbity pap right in his mouth, and I'm here for all of that. Yeah, that's just a wake-up call. That's all that was. It was a wake-up. You see his head down. He was getting tired. There was a lot of stuff in his eyes. Like, man, don't go to sleep. You still got to drive up out of here.
Hey! Well, they ain't even listening. Let me go get my pistol.
I didn't see anything wrong with that.
This is what a hero looks like, Frank! World War II, my papa fought for these rights!
That's why I say this is what white people need to do for me. I'm speaking individually. I'm not speaking for all of black people, and I never do. For me, if you want to convince me that you're on the side of not black people, but humanity, progress, life, the living, and the planet Earth itself, that's some of the shit you're going to have to do. Because this shit is entrenched. It has 250 years of digging down deep. America has been playing footsies with white supremacy, or not even footsies. It's been in the bed with white supremacy, racism, and retrograde reality since 1776. It had the option all the way back in 1776 when it broke from the slave colonies of Britain to cast that off and deal in a more egalitarian and fair society. And instead they chose capitalism and to extend slavery based upon race alone. That's how they decided to deal in humanity. Just humanity amongst their own kind, not humanity for all. And all of the laws they made, all of the things they did reinforce exactly what I said. So if you want to change it now in our contemporary times, because that shit, 250 years of consolidated effort to bring about a particular result is extreme. And therefore, it's going to take something extreme to not just rattle it, but to crush it at its foundations. And America is its foundations. So hell yeah. Hell yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with that. We're speaking in revolutionary terms. I'm not saying I advocate for it, and I'm not advocating for it. This is an opinion for edification and First Amendment protection's sake. Man, those are my white people right there, man. Those are my whites. Those are my whites. I'm gonna rewind it back just one more time. I mean, that is passion, conviction, and motherfucking resolve. God damn it, I love seeing that. Oh, and you see the back of his thing is juicy a little bit. See, not trying to get into the gore. I'm probably going to have to blur that out for purposes of YouTube. But yes, this was an FAFO moment for white supremacists venturing out in some type of Kyle Rittenhouse way into Minneapolis or Minnesota again. No. Better take a minute to think about it. Follow. Jesus. Welcome to Minneapolis. You better run. You acting like they don't have legs too.
Fuck you, Nazi! Fuck you, motherfucker! You run around! Call in sick today!
Full order to clear the street. You need to move to the sidewalk.
Get out of the hotel right now! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! Get out! That does not matter. Stay outside. Stay outside.
And that is destiny fulfilled, isn't it? Because no matter how you shake it, cut it, or bake it, the law enforcement apparatus in this country is here to protect white supremacy. It is here to protect the status quo. It is here to protect American norms, and therefore white supremacy is best suited in the law enforcement apparatus. Why wouldn't it be? It is the most obvious choice for white supremacists and white supremacist adjacents and sellouts and coons and bootlicks and so on. Perfect. Because you didn't see these officers, even though it is on record that numerous people were calling them, reporting ICE and how ICE was handling the citizenry. You didn't see one cop show up in defense of the citizenry. Not in Minnesota. No, you did not. You saw it in New York, but not in Minnesota. No, sir, you did not see that one time in Minnesota. But let a white supremacist be getting his ass handed to him. Let an avowed and proud and loud Nazi get his motherfucking snot box rocked. And next thing you know, not just the police come. That wasn't one squad car. That was a goddamn riot gear they brought. They brought a goddamn tank, a civilian tank into the area. Like, knock it the hell off, man. Knock it the hell off. These guys are Nazis. All of them are Nazis, even the black ones.
Fuck every one of you!
With a horse stick. Now, sister, you know you ain't got no goddamn business being about there, but the pink hair kind of alludes to the fact that you might not necessarily have a lot of African common sense up there, but you got the African love and the African heart. So, like, I support you. I love you. I hope everything's all right. I hope you ain't getting any trouble, and I hope you made it home to your family safe. But look, with that hat on and that pink hair underneath of that and them black hands, I'm pretty sure that's you, and it doesn't look like it turned out well for you. Never mind. She's doing that coon Holy Ghost behavior stuff.
We keep us safe. We keep us safe.
I know that wasn't the Jolly Ginger over there, bro. This is what he's supposed to do. Jolly Ginger is an ally, I'll give him that, but still in the same breath, he's a white man, and this is a white racist society, and it goes right back to what I said. They are the ones that need to be on the front line for this. They are. Let it pop off with them, and then we'll see how all the chips fall, but it cannot be black faces. You played the fuck out the last time with the 2020 protests, where it was just supposed to be all of us together fighting against the tyranny of white supremacy as made manifest through law enforcement in this country, the race soldiers in this country, and instead, like, every time there was something violent happen, a car burning or something like that, always a black face associated with it, never the white people who were actually doing it. So, like, this time, leave your faces out there, let your faces be the face of the movement, and black people, when they come, if they come, they'll be second to your primary fiddle.
Hey Minnesota, what do we say? Hey Minnesota, what do we say? Fuck you Nazis every day. Fuck you Nazis every day.
Beautiful.
Hey Minnesota, what do we say? Hey Minnesota, what do we say? Fuck you Nazis every day. Fuck you Nazis every day. I thought we helped you guys out in the city already. We will escort you to your vehicles. We don't have to escort you out of here. Bro, they're gonna hurt y'all.
Go ahead, girl. Yes. Yes, you brought a symbol of hate to an otherwise peaceful protest for purposes of provocation. Consider the people provoked. Now consume the consequence. You know what? And when these people come out on social media or on TV or wherever else they go, where they have a public platform, and they speak about how people were so violent, and so it's like you are the only sub-segment of this society that believes you can do a thing without consequences following it. You know what happens as a consequence of you driving on the road? People need to make space for you. You know what happens as a consequence of you eating? There's less food in your house. You know what happens as a consequence of bringing Nazi paraphernalia into an anti-fascist movement? You get your fucking ass handed to you, bro. It is like one of the most basic, bare minimum, common sense things to kick around in your noodle, and it daftly appears like these individuals just don't seem to have that little grain of common sense. We're asking for a granular amount of common sense, and you just can't seem to muster it. Pun intended.
Where's ramp A? Ramp A? Hey, go this way. I got hit in the stick, hit in the head with a hockey stick.
No, you hit yourself in the head with everything you just said. If I went into a neo-Nazi march, like, can you imagine me in 2016 with a tiki torch walking in Charleston, Virginia, talking about Jews will replace us? Talking about they will be replaced. Man, it would have fucked me up. It wouldn't have been on camera or anything. It might have killed me. I might be in one of their refrigerators right now as a rotisserie for a holiday season. So, like, knock it off, bro. He got exactly what he asked for.
Can you hear me? Get psychiatric fucking help!
Facts. Get psychiatric help. Why do you people honestly consume the false and faulty reality in your heads, the alternative facts, as that lady once said, that there is no such thing as consequence. Trump is going to get his consequence too. Oh, yes, he is. Yes, the fuck he is. When Trump leaves office, because it's a when, not if. If Trump dies in office, let's say he goes for a third term, he plays it out and he croaks, or let's say he croaks now. And this is a cult of personality. MAGA is a cult of personality. When Trump goes, there is no second. They're going to have the entire Republican Party is going to have to redo its image. That's the reason why all of them clowns and stooges and puppets right now in Trump's ambit are literally going out of their way to mimic him. Ron DeSantis thought he was going to out-Trump Trump, and he didn't even win his own fucking state. So it's like, bro, when Trump goes, it's over with. You do understand that. And it's not just over with for Trump. When law and order, as is written in their textbooks, unless they overhaul the entire United States Code and ratify the Constitution, when Trump goes and this force of nature that is buoying him and keeping him protected in all of his heinous behavior, he's protected by Congress and the indifference of Congress, on both sides, not just the Republicans and the centrists and whatever and the independents, but also from the Democrats. He's protected in Congress, he's protected in the House, and he's protected in the Supreme Court. He has all three branches of government protecting him right now. The moment that is no longer the case, and that man is either impeached or indeed, like I said before, he dies in office from natural causes or whatever. Everything he set up is gone. Everything he set up is gone. All of these people that are working in ICE right now, thinking that they can do whatever they want, including summarily executing somebody or executing numerous people, they're going to prison, bro. There is no statute of limitations on murder. So if the feds take his case up and try to tie it off with a bow and say, we've resolved it, that's only under Title 18. That has nothing to do with the Minnesota statutes that he violated by executing that woman in the street. And you think the next administration, which will clearly not be a Republican one. That is the most obvious thing in the world. That doesn't take prescience. It doesn't take some massively astute political IQ. It is just the nature of this swing seesaw relationship that Americans have with their politics. When the Democrats don't do them right, everybody runs to the Republicans. When the Republicans don't do them right, everybody runs back to the Democrats. And it's been that way for 250 fucking years. These people are literally mental midgets. Beside the point, and I mean politically, they're mentally midgets, but that's entirely beside the point. When all of that happens and there's a Democratic apparatus, Trump is finished. Nobody's going to play any games with that man, bro. And if he's no longer around for them to target, his businesses are going to get destroyed and dissolved because he's violated the emoluments clause I don't know how many goddamn times. He's going to lose all of that money. His whole entire existence is going to be liquidated. His children are more than likely going to get imprisoned for violating God knows how many statutes. His entire empire is going to collapse the moment he's no longer there to erect it, keep it upright. It's just a fact, bro. That is a fact. That is a fact. And all of these dumbass stooges putting their faces online and stuff like that, bro, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. Trust me. Trump is an extreme. He is an extreme. The response to him when he actually gets it, not from these Democrats, but when he actually gets that response to him and what he has done here, it's going to be extreme. It is going to be extreme. These guys are going to prison for a minute. They're going to prison for a minute. If Trump goes any more extreme towards the fascism direction, these people aren't going to prison. They're going to be executed. They are going to be executed as traitors, as the law supports. If Trump goes in that direction too far with his fascism and authoritative desires, and he actually starts killing people en masse in this country, when that fog is shaken off and the dust clears, the people responsible for that are going to be put to death, bro, because that's what the law supports. And if you think this group of Americans are like the group of Americans that abandoned humanity and after the Civil War, you're sadly mistaken. There's a lot more active black voices, brown voices, and indeed white voices that aren't going for that result, bro. They're just not.
I didn't do anything. I'm just a Nazi.
The fact that you're a Nazi, I believe the guy is mocking him, but the fact that you're a Nazi is more than enough. Because as a Nazi who didn't do anything, you still sit within the comforts and protections and ideology of a group of people who have intentions of doing the most worst things imaginable.
The fucking white supremacist! Get the fuck out!
Right, boys. Best day I had in Minnesota all my life. Like I said, racism is a coward sport. You notice they didn't do any of that tough shit until they got into a car. Maybe somebody should have shot 3 times in the passenger side window in order to, you know, protect their life. You're not? You thought shit was funny? That pavement and that little skibbity pap of blood down there says that you've lost your sense of humor somehow.
He's one of us. He's one of us. Okay, good. I'm one of them. You alright, dude? You alright? He's one of us.
Well, I don't know what the fuck that means. And clearly the people there didn't either.
Because I was with him earlier. Why did you ran out earlier? I don't know, but he's one of us. I'm with them. Trust me. There's only wonderful people out there.
See, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. A lot of you guys are like Boogaloo boys and shit like that, and you come to these protests for the express purpose of agitating and provoking and causing problems and seeing what type of mischief you can commit or get others to commit. So he thought shit was funny, period. We all saw the video. We saw it together. He thought shit was funny. Even when he got punched in the back of his head, he thought shit was funny. Now he doesn't.
He's been with us the whole time. You pepper spray, you good? You alright, man? Hey,
Oh, I thought he was one of y'all. Then why did those Nazis just come out and secret him away? Why didn't those Nazis just do that for anybody else? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Get out of here. He wasn't one of y'all anything. He was a Nazi, and y'all knew he was a Nazi.
He had 6. Jake Lang, a hateful, racist piece of shit Nazi, had 6 or 7, and we came out in the thousands. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you were black, if you were Latino, if you were white, if you were queer, if you were Asian or Somali or Afghani, no matter what it is, it doesn't matter if you were bald, if you had blue hair or pink hair or blonde hair or no hair like me, we came out in support of one another to remind the Nazis, if you come to Minnesota, motherfuckers, fuck around and find out.
I can't do nothing but say how much I appreciate that. Solidarity against the enemy is sacrosanct, but that first requires you to identify the enemy. For white people, your enemy is as much racism as it is ours. And with the killing of Renee Good, what that did for a lot of white people, and particularly white women, is it showed you like, yeah, you're in the same boat as us. Some shit we've been telling you this entire time. You are expendable to the overall scheme of things when it comes to these people who are cravenous for power. You're just expendable. If you are willing to convert your body, your mind, your life, and your spiritual messaging to fit or align with their white supremacist ideology, which means you lose Ubuntu, soul, spirit, you know what I mean, then so be it. And you'll be fine. You'll be like one of those vapid, evil wicked trolls sitting here talking about some they should be killed or you should just drive into them and shit, not seeing humanity or nothing, only seeing objects, things to be destroyed. I saw the humanity in those people, though, even the Nazis. I saw the little sliver of humanity that was in them. A lot of them think it's a game. A lot of them honestly think it's a game. And I think once they begin to reap the rewards of their efforts and they begin to see like some of the consequences, I think a lot of them who believe that they're for those extremes will abandon them. It's a thought, and I don't hold my breath for it. And in the fog of war, I would defend my family because that's all I care about is my family, period. I would defend my family zealously and viciously and coldly, right? So if he just so happened to be on that side approaching me, that goes back to the whole Muhammad Ali with the whole 10,000 rattlesnakes thing. So white people need to identify the enemy so that they can fight. And as far as black people are concerned, we need to identify our enemies so that we can fight them. In this particularized fight that they're having, we're being ignored, and that's a good thing for us. In this time, we need to start creating a green book-like composite or compendium, if you will, social media based compendium where all of us have access to it, much like ProPublica did in documenting the insurrection act. The insurrection that occurred on January 21st of 2021, or was that right? January 6th of 2021. Pardon me, butchered my numbers, my dates. We need to do something like that, where we're identifying all of the people who have came out proudly against us. Of course, we got the easy ones on social media, like the Antons, the Andrew Tates, the Coleman Hughes, the Jeffrey Meads and stuff like that. Because when they get their reality check, oh, that's going to be one of those Timothy Price, I believe the brother's name was, kcoon's name was. Like, it's going to be one of those types deals for them. The Candace Owens and all that, it's going to be one of those type deals for them. But in the lead up to that, when they still think they can advantage themselves by white supremacy, they'll be more than willing to betray us as a collective, as a whole. So we need to document all of them, their sentiments, their statements, when they said it. These types of posts where this dude was just out there with zero problem. He had zero problem protecting white supremacy. And then there's later videos of him talking about I did that because I'm the son of God. Nigga, son of whose God? Which God? Their God? Their God? You're the son of that God? You don't even know that there were African gods which preceded their gods. Every last one of their books are taken from the goddamn Pert Emheru, which Moses himself readily admits he took from fucking Egypt. In so many words. That wasn't divine inspiration from some type of unidentified mysterious being. That was divine inspiration from the black minds that existed at the time of Moses. But if you sat down with the core curriculum, then you would have known that prior to holding and proffering yourself out as this retrograde iteration of a fucking Hebrew Israelite. But that small-minded simpleton literally came out and said that he protected a white supremacist because he was Jesus reincarnated. And that just shows you the mind state at play with a lot of our sick-minded, small, feebly, intellectually inclined brothers and sisters in this country. And even in saying that and associating them with all of those adjectives, it still doesn't inspire in me the sympathy needed to identify them outside of their condition as a coon. So that they are enemies. By my assessment of things. Remember what I said, and I'm going to end the video with this. In the history of America, there were over 250 slave revolts, and in every last one of them, a traitor-ass coon betrayed everybody, got numerous people lynched and murdered and killed. And I'm pretty sure, even though the record doesn't reveal it, but I'm pretty sure they felt justified in some way. Again, this isn't a skirmish between beefs between individuals and stuff like that where somebody tells on somebody. This isn't some type of grandma looking through the window, seeing the crime in her neighborhood and informing the police. This isn't crime watchers or something like this. This is for the fight of humanity, bro. What do you think happens if fascism wins in America? Honestly. Do you think fascism confines itself to America and just says, we're an ethno-nationalist state right now, we're fine, this is all we ever wanted, this is white utopia, we're going to leave the world alone? Bitch, he has everything he wants right now, and you still see him trying to take Greenland. He just destabilized Venezuela and fucking bombed Nigeria and is talking about invading all of and tariffing everybody around him. He's in everybody's fucking business. He is 1,000,000,000% a neocon. Fascism won't contain itself to these borders. It will go all throughout the world, consuming and destroying every fucking thing. This is a fight for the humanity. This is a fight for humanity and the world, because these fascistic, simpleton-minded individuals don't even fucking believe in science. They don't even believe in science. So they're not going to do anything to stop the seas from rising. They're not going to do anything to stop climate change. They're not going to do anything to stop or address famines that sprout up when they destabilize regions of the world by depleting its resources and dispossessing the people and the indigenous people of their land in the process. They're not going to do anything, which means once they do that, they're not going to do anything to address the immigration onslaught that will occur because the people don't have no suitable place to live anymore. Which means they're going to find themselves constantly extinguishing and killing and finding justifications to exterminate other people. You're a simpleton. You're a simpleton looking at this situation through the jaundiced lenses of a primary or an upcoming election. You're a fucking simpleton. So we need to identify our enemies, and for black people, the greatest enemy that we have is the coon. We find them all throughout rap music, demonizing us, proffer to them, ask them how does their mind think about the black condition in America, and every last one of them, without a fault, will distance it. I forget what they were. I think they were the Yin Yang twins or something like that. They were asked something, and they were like, man, we out here balling, we doing our things, and this, that, and the other thing. Ask any one of them rappers, Kodak Black, fucking Lil Wayne, ask any one of them dudes that you guys laud. Kanye West, every last one of them. Betrayers. They have nothing for us, bro. You'll find coons in politics. You'll find them on the street. You'll find them on the street corners. Anybody that will sell drugs to their own people, a pregnant black woman, you're a fucking coon. You're a traitor. You're a traitor. I sold drugs. I sold drugs a lot when I was a child. And in the entirety of my motherfucking life, I never sold a hard drug to a black person. Ever. Ever. I never sold a hard drug really to anybody if they were like pregnant or something like that. But I never sold a hard drug, be it crack, be it coke, whatever. I never sold a hard drug to a black person. I sold it right back into the community that was pumping that shit into mine. So we have a lot of traitors and sellouts and turncoats. And until we sit back and actually assess that, we're not in any position to be fighting anybody's wars, including our own. Including our own. We need to get our own house in order and get rid of these motherfuckers from amongst us. And there are ways to get rid of them without having to become physical and violent. Just like we have done with the delineation movement, so we can start presenting to the world like these people are not us. We need to do the same exact thing when it comes to the coon. And expressing the fact that there are two types of people that came out of slavery. There are two types of ethnicities that came out of the blackness that slavery produced. And it is either the house Negro or the field Negro, period. That's the next step we need to do so we can start quarantining these motherfuckers away from them. So when people see these people in motion, they understand, oh, these are the creatures of white supremacy. The black person that'll go and be discriminate when he goes into a white community, but be indiscriminate in his violence and indifference when he goes into a black one. Yeah, you're a fucking coon. You descend from coons. You descend from coons. Now, I understand that coonism can actually be overcame. You can overcome that because it's a mental condition. You're not necessarily so-called predisposed to it genetically. It is a mental defect, a disease that was never treated. Never treated. Never inoculated, never put out in front of you in an analytical way so you can actually see what the fuck is going on in your head. However, that, in closing, brings me to, because there is a however, I do take a posture. There is a but that comes with that. And it saddles me up to Scorsese's work in The Departed, in the opening scenes. when Jack Nicholson's character there says that when you're staring down a loaded gun, what's the difference? I'm paraphrasing. He says it in a more cinematic and iconoclastic way, but quintessentially he's saying, like, I understand that there are good people and people could be ailing and going through something and this, that, and the other thing. But if you're pointing a gun at me, if your condition results in you pointing a gun at me, then in that moment, you have put me in a life or death situation where I cannot concern myself with your condition. I just can't. I can't. And while you labor as a coon, while you live and toil as a coon, you must understand that the behaviors that you exhibit onto the community and the world around you is deleterious. It is a direct representation. The coon, as he exists or subsists in America, is the greatest indictment against white supremacy that this world could ever produce. Ever. Soulless, disassociative beings. No direction, no rhyme, no reason, just vermiculate. And I can't be bothered with that. If these situations proceed to their absolute worst, we cannot be bothered with that, bro. You won't ever have a Black Wall Street. You'll never have any success if you allow people like that who have a reflex to undermine, not white people, but their own. You will never have nothing so long as you allow those types of people amongst us. Never.